Today we're going to be doing a spark plug change on 2006 Chevy Cobalt. Yeah! And then once you're under the hood, you're going to have to be removing this cover here so you can get access to the spark plugs. And it looks like we have four 10mm bolts that are going to be removed. And just to be on the safe side, I'm actually going to go ahead and be removing this harness here. Now that I have it hooked, you can kind of see that tab a little bit easier in there. But that tab in the middle is what you're going to be trying to lift up and just back up slowly. That way you don't break the clip. Alright, we got the last one almost off here. Alright, and then this should pop right off. And there we go. The whole unit comes off together. Alright, so I got the coil pack laying up here on the side. And you can see how much just dirt and crud is in here, and we really don't want any of this to fall into our head or to get into the engine. So I'm just gonna take my shop vac over here, and we're gonna go ahead and get this all cleaned up. But if you had an air compressor, you could do the same thing with that, or you could wipe it off with a towel. That's done. Okay, so now we're going to take the a 6-inch extension here and our spark plug socket, and we're just going to start here on the passenger side of the motor and break these off going counterclockwise to remove. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. We'll go backwards to remove. So I ended up using a 3-inch extension as well, just so I had enough clearance here. Alright, that's coming off. Now with the ratchet out the way, we can just go ahead and spin this off. It is almost out. There we go. Spinning free. We'll pull out slow. Cool thing about these spark plug sockets is they do have like a little magnet in there, or sometimes a grommet that holds the spark plug in. And we can see already this thing is absolutely worn out. It is absolutely almost without an electrode tip at all. So this absolutely needed new spark plugs. So we'll go ahead and check the gap here. And whoa, this thing is way off. It's about I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's about a 0.82. So it should be at 0.43. That's what the OEM, the manufacturer, recommends. And I went ahead and got the ACDELCOs, just the original equipment here, and these are already supposed to be pre-gapped. But I always like to check to make sure. You never know if the box was dropped or anything like that, or mishandled in any kind of way. So I do like to make sure the gap is where it should be, and it is. It's dead on. There we go. So the gap's supposed to be at 0.43 with these, and you can see we're right on it. Alright, and you can put some anti-seize on the threads here before you put that in, but just make sure when you start this that you don't cross-thread it, so you want it to go in nice and straight. So we'll go ahead and load it onto our extension. Come in here, go nice and straight. And always start these by hand. There we go. And if you don't have a torque wrench, you can just go kind of a quarter turn past hand tight. I will put the torque spec at the bottom of the screen here, but we'll go ahead and get these in. There we go. Now off to the next one. And we'll do these one at a time. Alright, that one's out. And as well, it's in really, really poor shape. Tighten. And there we go, just a little bit past that hand tight there. Quarter turn. And off with the next one. These are coming out pretty smooth. They're not covered in any kind of oil, which is a good sign. You know, no like valve cover leaks or anything like that. Just completely obliterated, worn out plugs. And when you do check these, also you want to be careful with the tip, especially on these iridiums or any kind of like fine wire plug. That tip is really easy to snap off and break off. And if you do that, if that happens to you, don't use that spark plug. Use one of your old ones that's in better shape, so you can until you can pick up a new one, or I mean ideally you have another vehicle. can pick up another set of plugs. But do not use that broken plug. If any of that metal were to continue breaking down while the engine's running, you could do some serious damage over a pretty cheap part. I got this last one. Alright, now after you've cleaned off these connectors, if any dirt or debris has gotten down on them, you can go ahead and wipe that off before you put this over the head here. When you put it in, make sure that you can read the words, and we're going to tighten this down before we actually hook it up. Make sure each one is lined up into its proper home. Make sure you're not pinching any of the electrical connectors or anything like that. You don't want to damage any of these connectors. They can get expensive. There we go. Get hung up right here. Alright, so you can see we can read the word ecotec 2.2. It's facing us. It did take a little wiggle work to get each one of those connectors back onto the spark plugs there. We'll go ahead and drop in these 10mm bolts. And then after we tighten them down, we can hook up our pigtail connector there, and you should be able to fire up the vehicle. And now that we found our 10, always a 10 that I believe. Alright, there we go.
Where's the two wheels like?
Now we're going to hook up this harness here, snap it in. We heard the click. Now we can go ahead and start it. Well, that's it. That's how you change the spark plugs on a 2006 Chevy. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Leave a like if it did. Always, you can you can always like and subscribe. Thanks for checking out the channel. Have a good day.